Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is when to use json.loads function on top of widgets. So widget is like dbutils.widgets.get method. So on top of that, we'll see when to use json underscore dot loads function. So if you see some of the examples, so these are the parameters I want to pass into widget. So here I have parameter excluded under quotes. If you see here, this is list of elements and JSON underscore loads, I have list of elements. And if you see these two are Boolean variables. And this is string variable, branch underscore internal. And if you see source underscore call, I have list of string elements. And if you see these three variables, I have dictionary. So dictionary with key value pair. So if I pass, so this kind of uh, values into the widget, what we'll get is by default, it will get string data type. Suppose if you pass this one, this list of string elements, you will get output as string of list. So that means you don't get your natural form. So to convert that, so whenever you pass this list of elements or dictionary or these Boolean values, so if you want to get the output of widget same as respect to list and dictionary and Boolean types, so we have to use json.loads function. So what it does is it will convert, if you see here, suppose this is our initial widget dbutils.widgets.get and source underscore database underscore names. So this is the widget value. So what it does is it reads a Databricks widget value and always it returns a string. So on top of this, if you use this one json.loads function, what it does, it converts that string into a Python list or dictionary, or you can say Python object. So before that, I want to show the content of this video. So first we'll see why we need to use json.loads function. And if a widget contains either list or dictionary or any Boolean types, so how it will handles. And whenever your widget value has escaped codes, then how it will handles. And we'll see one real-time scenario. So if you see the syntax is this one, like J's first syntax is this one, dbutils.widgets.get, and inside that we need to pass widget name. And this piece of code, what we'll get is either list of string of list or string of dictionary or booleans. So on top of that, if you use this json.loads, it will convert into Python object. And here, this get method is to get the value from this widget. So there are two things will be there. One is text and get. So we'll see further the difference between. So first thing is using json.loads. So json.loads function, it works only when the widget value is valid JSON. So that means, so whatever you are passing here, list of elements or this dictionary of key value pairs, it should satisfy JSON requirements. So then only you will get output, otherwise it will throw error. So we'll see few scenarios when it will get success and when it will get fail. Suppose if you pass clean JSON, it will get success. And whenever you pass your JSON elements with a double quotes, like here, suppose if you see branch and it is double quote, and if you see this key value, that is double quote. So if we have following this JSON standard, that means with the double quotes, it will get success. And without trailing commas. So trailing commas means like this. So here we have element A1, here A2, and here comma. So this will call as trailing comma. So if you don't have those kind of trailing commas, then it will get success. And at the same time, if you have trailing commas, it will get fail. And similar way, here double quotes. And suppose if you pass this JSON object with a single quote, suppose bronze starting and ending, if you pass with a single quote, then it will get fail. And similar way, whenever you passing Boolean values, so always you have to pass in lowercase. Suppose if you pass starting letter T and F as capital letter, then it will get fail. So we'll see a few more examples. So few more examples is like, so this is my JSON requirement, and JSON requirement is double quotes only. So that means if you're passing double quote, that means if your input, if your widget is like this, so it is similar like this with the double quotes, then your output will come like this. So if you pass a double quote, you will get output in single quote. And suppose if you pass input itself with a single quote instead of double quote, if you pass single quote like this, then it will get fail. And whenever you pass Boolean values, true or false, it should be always lowercase. So that means like this. So it will accept in lowercase, but it will give you output like this. Starting letters T and F will be capital letters. And suppose if you pass like this, then your output will get fail. And at the same time, so whenever you're passing null, so it should be lowercase like this null lowercase. So you'll get null here. Suppose if you pass starting letter as capital letter, then it will fail. So similar way, trailing commas. So trailing commas means here comma. So it will fail. So next we'll see a few more example. So what is the trailing comma? So suppose if you're passing list of elements, see here, this is first element, this is second element, and here comma is there. So this comma is trailing comma or dictionary of key value pair. So this is one key value pair and this is one key value pair, and here we have trailing comma. So either list or dictionary, if you have trailing commas, then it will get fail. So when it will pass is, if you pass instead of json.loads, if you use this particular function, ast.literal underscore eval, then it will get success, even for trailing commas. So here I will show you high level difference between json.loads and ast.literal underscore eval function. So it accepts single quotes. So whenever you pass single quotes, so json.loads, it will fail. But if you use this function, it will get success. And if you pass trailing commas, so this will get fail and this function will get success. And similar way, Boolean values, if you pass like this starting and ending as capital letter, then it will fail. But this function will get success. And json.loads, it accepts only JSON format. And this ast.literal underscore eval, it accepts uh, other than JSON formats also. So when we'll use these functions is whenever you pass parameter from widget to further functions, so it is always safe to evaluate them. So here I told two functions, json.loads and ast.literal underscore eval. So this particular function, I'm going to create separate video on this. So, but this particular video restricted to going to cover only with json.loads. So why json.loads is needed? So widgets always returns string type. Suppose if you see this example, even if widget looks like a list, that means even though if you pass this list of elements like this, still J json.loads Python treats it as like this string. So here starting and ending with the double quotes. And if you see inside elements here, so it will treats like this only string. It won't treat like list. So for that we are using json.loads. So it converts into a real list, either list or dictionary or boolean type. So first we'll see our first scenario. So when our widget contains a list of database names. So before for going further, what I'll do, so I have few data widgets here. So first I'm going to remove those widgets by using this function. So dbutils.widgets.remove all. If you use remove all, so all widgets at a time will get removed. And here I used %skip function. This is new magic command. So either you can write here %skip like this. So if you want to and if you want to remove this skip, you can use either control question mark, or what you can do is you have option here a triple dot. So here what you can do. So if you go a little up, unskip cell. If you click on unskip cell, see that is gone. And if you want to skip that, so before that, what I'll do, I will run this command. So these widgets will go off. Now again, I will click on this. Now again, I will activate this command function skip cell. See here. So what is the purpose of this one is, so I don't want to run this function every time. So only whenever I required, only that time I want to use this function. So here what I'm doing for that, what I did, I used skip function here. So what will happen if you by accident, if you run this run all function, what it does is it will skip this one. It won't run this particular cell. It will go to next cell. That means it will skip this particular cell and it will go to next cell. So that is the advantage of this %skip. So first what I'm doing, first I'm importing this function, import JSON. Why? Because so json.loads. So in this JSON function, we need to import here. So my first example is dbutils.widgets.text, and inside that I'm passing three parameters. So one is widget name, and widget value is empty string, and this is title. And here we have two methods. So one is a text and get. So if you want to create a widget, so we have multiple methods. So uh, here I took this text method. So this is the text method we'll use maximum cases in real-time projects. So first what it does is this line of code, it will create one widget with this name, with this widget name, and with empty string. And after creating this widget, what this get method does is whatever the value in widget, so it will get that parameter here. And so that is I define to one variable. And if I try to print that variable, we'll get output here. So here what I'm doing, I'll clear the output here. I'll try to rerun this cell. First, it will create widget here. So my widget name is json_loads. So this is my widget name. And here I mentioned empty string. So here I'm not getting any string here. And if you see here, this first line of code, it created the widget with empty string. And for get method, so this get method, what it does is it will pick the parameter, it will pick the value, widget value from this parameter. That means this widget parameter. But since it is empty here, it throwing error here, expecting value. So for that, what I'm doing, so here I will try to enter database name. So some text I will enter here. Suppose here I will select this source database names. So this one I will copy and I will paste here. See here after pasting, so I'm not clicking anywhere and directly coming to that particular cell. You just reject this and see here as soon as I click on this cell, so automatically this cell will get run. And here what I did, I printed this variable json underscore loads. So here I'm getting whatever I passed dictionary, that I'm getting here. And if you see here type, here I type uh, printed used to type function to get the data type here. So now this my output is dictionary. So whenever I pass this one, so that is string type. So if you want to know that, what I'll do, I'll define some variable here, widget type, and this widget type, I will try to print the data type, print type of this widget. Now, if I try to rerun this one, if you see here, class none type. So initially it is not picked this data type. So, but if you see this widget type, since it is initially empty string, it not giving it giving as none type. So, but actually this is string type. Suppose instead of here, if I enter here and if I try to run this one, uh, simple, what I'll do, I'll mention some list of name, is list of elements. So instead of this, what I'll do, I'll keep empty string only. Oh, so json.loads this and that. So this I will remove these two, and this also I will remove. I'll try to rerun this one. So we are getting output here and the type is a dictionary, and whatever initial we are passing, so that is a string type. So next what I'm doing here is, initially I given string here, no empty string. Now what I'm doing, same code, but here I'm passing a list of elements here. So here my widget name is different, source database names list. So first I'm using text method to create the widget, and after that I'm using get method to get the parameter of this value, and I'm printing that particular widget and data type. So what I'll do, I'll clear this one and I will rerun this one. If I rerun this, here one more widget will get add, and if you see the difference, earlier it is empty widget, but here since I used text here, value, widget value, so by default it took this one. And if you see here, So earlier case, it is not displayed. Why? Because I given empty string and manually entered. And if you see here, since I at the starting means in widget value place, since I provided this value, so it giving the output is this one. So that means very first, by using this first line of code, it will create the widget, that is this one, and by default it taking this value, widget value, and next what it doing, dbutils.widgets.get, and this particular widget value I'm calling here. So that I defined one variable, that variable I printed here, and I try to mention type also. So now my type is string. So that means my input is string now. And this is the string, right? Now what I will do on top of this with the same thing, I will try to use json.loads. Suppose this is with JSON. So here it is without JSON. So here this is with JSON. What I will do, if I try to run this one and names with JSON, names with JSON. So source database names list. So this is list. So what are doing? Widgets dot get. So from this parameter, it should pick and it giving string. Okay, so it giving string now. See here, because I used same thing. Suppose if I use json.loads now, json.loads, and everything I keep inside. Now if I try to run this one, here it will get list. So that means whatever the format we are passing to widget, that original format will get here. So that's why naming I given clearly, like without JSON and with JSON. So that means without JSON means without json.loads, with json.loads. So this is the difference. This is our first scenario. So next second scenario is widget contains a dictionary. So whenever we have dictionary, so we can use two different methods to get the dictionary values. So here first I'm using items method. So here I'm using dbutils.widgets.get source underscore database names. So here I used this list of elements, right? Now what I'll do, source database names as a dictionary. So this value I will pass here. So instead of that, if I pass here, and if I directly go that particular cell, and if I try to click on this, see here, if I click on this, so automatically this cell will get run. So dbutils.widgets.get method. So from this database, this parameter, it will pick here. So, and initially it is string type. Why? Because I am not used this json.loads here. So directly without json.loads I used here. So by default it will be string. But actually what is this? This is string dictionary. So if I want to get my native format, so what I need to use? json.loads. If I use json.loads, what I will get? So my type will get changed to dictionary. So my original format I will get. So this is by using items method. So next what I will do here is, and what advantage will get, what problem will get with the string type is, So here this is first one is string, right? This whole thing is string. Suppose if you try to iterate this one by using for loop for db in names without JSON. So names without JSON means this one. That means this one string of dictionary. So here what I'm doing, print processing, text is processing, and I'm mentioning db here. So what will happen? So since it is string, it will iterate each and every character here. So first one is flower bracket and next double quote B R O N G. So here each and every letter it is iterating. So that is the issue with directly using get method. Next what I'm doing, same for loop I'm using on this dictionary. So that means after using json.loads. So now what will happen? See here I'm getting whatever I required here. So here what I'm doing for key in names underscore w underscore json. So that means in this now this is a dictionary. So from here I want to pick only keys here. So what are the keys here? Bronze, silver, gold. So since it is a dictionary, so for key in names underscore w underscore json, and I'm printing this key here. So I'm getting all keys here. Next, what I'm doing by using items method, I'm printing both key and value here. So in dictionary, if you see Python dictionary, if you want to print both key and value, so we'll use items method. So dot items. And here earlier I used only key. Here I'm using key comma value. And if I print this one by using f string function, key semicolon value. So what I will get? First I will get key, next I will get value. So here what is key? So first key is bronze and value is this one. Next key is silver and value is this one. Key is gold and value is this one. So we'll get in this format, key value format we'll get. So this is about items method. So next we'll see about square box method. So here what I'm doing, so database names list. So here I'm going to create new widget. So I give a new name like source database names underscore dictionary. So since I'm using text method and my parameter I'm passing here only. So I'm not passing after creation. So while creating itself, I'm passing. So here it will create one more dictionary. And if you see this one, this is the new dictionary, names underscore dictionary it created. And this widget value, it automatically picked up. So now what I'm doing on top of this, I'm using json.loads and inside that dbutils.widgets.get method and I'm passing this widget name here. Now this value it will pick here, and if you see print configs, you will get same dictionary. So whatever we passed here, same dictionary will get. And if you see type of configs, that is dictionary. Why? Because we used json.loads. And now from this dictionary, I want to access the values. So here for accessing the values, I'm using square bracket method. That is this one. So instead of using for loop, what I'm doing configs. So configs means this one, this dictionary, configs of prod. So configs of prod means this key. So for this key, I'm passing the value. So sales underscore db and configs of dev. So that means in this dictionary, I am accessing this key dev and value is this one, sales underscore db underscore dev. So this is about items method. and this is about square box method. So this is about handling dictionary. And next we'll see widget values with escaped codes. So that means, so I'm creating one more widget here, dbutils.widgets.text, and my widget name is this one, source database names underscore text. So here in parameters, I'm passing here only like escaped codes means like this. So escape character I'm passing here. So if I try to create this one, new widget will get create and the parameters it took this one. So even though we mentioned here escape characters, but here it took like this. And now if you try to access this one, so here I used to json.loads. Suppose if you don't use json.loads, we'll see what will happen. So here I'm trying to remove this one. This is names underscore text without json.loads. This is with json.loads. And at the same time, I'm trying to print the data type also. So if I try to rerun this one, so without using json.loads, it considering as a string, say string type. And after using json.loads, it getting native format that is list. So here what I will do, so here I'm maintaining space here. Okay, so this is about how to handle escaped codes. Next, we'll see one real-time scenario here. So here also I used skip function, and here I defined all the variables here, all the widget parameters I passed defined here. So what you can do is you can follow like this, you can create like this, like template, or what you can do is you can define the variables here instead of pausing after creating widget I manually paused here, no? So instead of that you can define variables here and you can pass it. So what I'll do is I will show you both the methods. So what I'll do first, I will explain this code. So here first I'm declaring input widgets here. So my first widget is, so dbutils.widget.text, and my first widget name is this one, source table names. And if you observe here, all the widgets, I'm passing empty strings here. So that means I'm passing manually or defining the parameter. So first we'll see with manually entering. And second one is source table names. So first, what I'll do, first I created the widgets. First, I'm creating the widgets. I'll remove this one. So by using this, first I'm creating the widgets by using text method. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 widgets I'm creating. After creating the widgets, so if you observe here, so for few widgets I'm using json.loads. So here first 3 I'm using json.loads and remaining I'm not using here. So that we'll see when we need to use json.loads. And after that, I'm printing one by one. So first is source table names, what output will get and what is the type of output, whether it is a string or list or dictionary, we'll see. So here for each widget, I created output here, that variable name and relevant data type here. So for all the widgets I created here. So now what I'll do, I'll clear this output and I'll try to create newly. So since I mentioned empty string, when I run first time, it will create the widgets, but it will throw you error here, like parameters is not defined. So these two, one, two, three, four. So these three are initially created. So what we can do is we have different methods to remove the widgets uh, one by one. Here what I'm doing manual method. So you click on this gear symbol and remove parameter. And similar way here, click on this gear symbol, remove parameter. So here also remove parameter. And this also remove parameter. And total we have 4, 8, 9. So total 9 widgets are created. But since we don't have values here, so it throwing error here, like expecting value. So now there are two methods. So one is source underscore table names. So I define in one cell source underscore table names. So this is the values. This is dictionary where I will pass source underscore table names here. So I will paste here and I will come here and click on this. It will automatically run and add what is happening since we once I provide all the values here, then it will become success. Otherwise, until that, it will show you error like this. So what I'll do, first I will show you manual method. So next, what is there? Source database names. Source database names. So this I will copy paste here. And next is source calls or otherwise ADF folder name. One more is a source call. One more is a read options dictionary. And one more is write options dictionary. And overwrite enable is false. And rename columns is there, but I think I don't have variable here. So schedule date, I'll give maybe today's date, 03/30, and rename columns. What I will do, I will simply pass the list of list. We don't have list of list. Okay, rename columns also I have. So I will pass this one, rename columns. Now, if you see here, still it is failing. dbutils.get source table names, source table names, and json.loads get method, and we'll see extra data line 1. So this is source table names. Where is that source table names? This one. Source table names. I think it is not started. with the list or dictionary, I think. Source table names. Okay, you should start with dictionary. Okay, and one more is source call. So source call is not defined. Okay, here source call is there. Source call is there, get method. Okay, so variable name is different. So source call name. Next, read options dictionary. Read options dictionary. Read options dictionary. Header equal to true. Read options dictionary. Okay, so I think names got replaced. Okay. Okay. So now it should be fine. So because of names, it not printed, it's showing error. Okay, so now everything corrected. So first what I did, I created the widgets here by using text method. So after creating widgets by using get method, I am picking these values, widget values here and storing in this variable. And this way later variable I'm printing and this relevant type also. So first what we'll see, source table names. If you see here, source table names. So this is dictionary we are passing and we are getting dictionary. Since we are passing dictionary, that is the reason I used json.loads here. And next one is source database names. If you see source database names, so this also dictionary. So that is the reason I used json.loads. Next is rename columns. So rename columns also, I think list of list. Yeah, so rename columns is a list of list. So if you want to get list, we need to use json.loads. And next one is ADLS folder name. And if you see ADLS folder name, this is string and we need output as string only. And at the same way, if you see gold database name and gold database name, this one, actually this is source call. If you see source call, if you see source call, this is actually list of elements. So it giving you output as string. So this is not correct. So for source call, I need to use load dictionary source call. So for source call, I need to use json.loads. And if I try to run this one, if you see source underscore call, so now it is list. And one more is read caption dictionary and read captions dictionary. So read captions dictionary. what we are what we are passing is a dictionary. So here also we require json.loads. And next we'll go and see. This is a string, source call is list, and read options dictionary. This is dictionary, and schedule date string. This is fine. And here data lake base URI. So here we are passing dictionary. So this dictionary we need to change json.loads. So that is data lake base URI. Data lake base URI, write options dictionary, match schema equal to true. So this one I'm changing to json.loads. And this write options dictionary. So this name also I'm changing. Okay. So now it is coming dictionary. And one more is this is Boolean value that is false. We are getting string. So for this also we need to change to json.loads. So I'm copying here. So this is overwrite enable. If I run this one, now it will come Boolean type. So this how we can use in real time. So based on your input value, you can decide. So whether json.loads is required or not. So now what I did, I created the widgets and manually passed. It means from this cell, I copy pasted here. So instead of that, what we can do is, what I'll do, I will remove these cells, means I will remove these widgets. Then I will create with method. So what method is, I will define variables. So it got removed everything. Now what I'll do, I will define variables before creating this one. So what I'll do here, before this code, I will define these variables here. So first one is source underscore table name. So what is there? Source underscore table name. So I'm defining this one. Next, what is my parameter? Source database names. So this variable I'm defining here, and source database names is this one, dictionary of this one. I am defining here. And what is next? Rename columns. So rename columns. So I'm selecting this one. And see, by default it getting, because I already defined, right? So it already recognizing, I'm automatically selecting here. And if you see here, all widget parameters I defined here. So I defined variables here. So first I will run these variables, and is not defined. ADLS folder name, ADLS folder name. Okay. False is not defined. Okay. So now this is I defined variables and it is executed. Now what I'm doing, I'm running this. What will happen? It will create the widgets and at the same time it will pick the values here. Okay, so it is not picking automatically. Normally it should pick the values. Okay, so it normally it's supposed to pick from here, but it not picking automatically. So I will see this one. So why it not picking? And the next thing is from here, what I'm doing is, so initially we discussed, right, how to access dictionary parameters. So that we'll see now here, how to access the parameters. So first one is source underscore table names. So for defining this, I need to pass again this one, source table names and source database names. Rename columns. So it selected all the elements. So I'm reselecting this and ADLS folder location and source call and read options dictionary. Write options, write options dictionary and override enable. I think we need to pass as small f, otherwise it will throw error. And schedule date is today's date. Okay, so if I run this one, so not this one, this one. So now this is our output. So from this, what I'm doing, suppose I'm taking source table names. If you see here, our source table names is a dictionary of key value pairs. So from this, I want to uh, access the values of some values of dictionary by using key value. So source table names of country. So I want to get the country value. So country is the key. I want to get this value. DB country base. See here, I'm getting that particular value here. And one more is source table names of source. Source table names of source. So I'm getting this one, sales part data. Sales part data. So next is source table names of target. Source table names of target. So we'll get this one, dim sales. So we'll get this one, dim sales department. So next is source table names of key value. Source table names of key value. So I will get this one, sales data dictionary. So I will get sales data dictionary. And one more is source database names of bronze, silver, gold name. So what is there for that? Bronze, silver, gold. Yeah. So bronze is this one. This value will get. For silver, we'll get this value. For gold, you will get this value. So, and later I printed each and every value here. So here I try to access uh, only related this one, uh, first list. So that means first dictionary, that is source table names. So similar way you can access this also. And similar way you can check for list also. Okay, so when this is useful is, so once you get this values, so here I'm passing manually, but real time you'll get from other environment. Maybe from your ADF pipeline, you'll get these values. And after getting this dictionary and further your notebooks for further coding, so you will use like this. First, you'll pick those values, then you will do further coding here. So this is the main purpose of using json.loads on top of dbutils.widgets.get. So one thing not getting is this one. So I'll try to uh, add the notebook in my description by explaining this, how to define the variable and how to pass it. Okay, so since I already defined it not taking, maybe I'll try one more time. If not coming, I will explain in separate notebook. Okay, so it not picking. So I will see this one, how to handle this one. So that's all about this video on how to use this JSON underscore loads on top of dbutils.widgets.get method. So that's all about this video. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.